only like 8 to 10% of this group said that we were going to have a positive year in stocks. And we obviously had a good year in 2024. Well, this turnaround, it's like 60% of that group is saying we're going to have a great year in stocks. And so, like, the sentiment is just like almost pinned bullish. And I'm a little alert, like, I'm a little concerned by that. And the one thing going into this last week, I'm curious how this prints, but I totally missed this as and I wouldn't say I missed it because there's nothing about I mean, what, a 4% correction? Like, there's nothing about this to me, Nick, that says, okay, we poke the all-time highs, we pull back about 3%. And there's nothing about this that shows a 3% pullback attached with an AAII sentiment survey that says this is the bottom.
Yep.
Right? Like, if we were down, 10% again or 15% again, then sure, I can get a little bit more of that contrarian indicator to say, like, this is more of a good indication of a bottom. I mean,
I totally agree.
Yeah, like when we talked about this area when everything was down, and what did I keep looking at? How many stocks are below the 50 period moving average?
Yep.
Right, or how many stocks are above the 50 period? It was down to like only 10 or to 12% were above the 50 moving average, and like historically, that's been a really good indication of a buying opportunity. And it was. So that was a good buying opportunity. And we also had like a nice healthy correction. This was down. I mean, the S&P at the very end of the year had about a 7% correction or so, 5.5%. I think the NASDAQ was 6 or 7%. So 5.5% correction. My point is this. I mean, this was a 3% correction, and we had like the 12-month high in bearish sentiment. And I'm like, that just seems a little extreme to call that a bottom. And it's like, so is the market buying on like it's the pain trade?
Yeah.
Make everyone think that everyone that's bearish right now is just going to get hammered by you got to get bullish because we're going to rip to all-time highs. And again, even two higher inflation readings like CPI and PPI, they weren't just like mildly hot. Like they were freaking, like they were scorching inflation. But then I was reading like, well, this might mean a lower PCE. I'm like, I don't know how the hell that math works. How you can have higher CPI, higher PPI, and then expect the end of the month that like PCs is going to be crazy low. I don't get it. But Chris, it's not enough, man. It's not enough to break the market.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is you mentioned that, and I love that point that you made just about the AAII investor sentiment survey here. I've got it pulled up as well. I don't know why, I just prefer it in a vertical form. But
yeah,
the bearishness, right? Peaking out for the highest level that we've had in quite some time.
12 months, right? 12-month high.
And here's the difficulty thing. I actually agreed with what you said so much there because, okay, I would typically agree with you in the sense that that's a contrarian bullish signal. But with markets at all-time high, it's like, I take that with a grain of salt. Well, this is why I like looking at, when I look at sentiment, looking at across the board sentiment too. Put to call ratio, really interesting chart here as well, shows something a little different. Put to call ratio, people cannot stop buying calls right now. When this chart goes very, very low, for the audience who's new to this topic of put to call ratio, that's just the options market volume of puts versus calls. Specifically, we're looking at S&P call and put volume. Well, call volume is off the chart, right? It is really, really high. People are very bullish in the options market. So I think that what we can take away from that is, markets at all-time highs, put to call ratios telling you that people are very optimistic in what they're actually doing. The sentiment survey is a sentiment survey, right? It is a survey. So I almost take the put to call ratio a little bit more seriously because this is actions. Sentiment survey is people, kind of in their sentiment about it. And like, if you ask me how I'm feeling, it's different than what I'm doing. Right. So very interesting to think about that. I would say that people are very, very bullish in the market. The sentiment survey is still worth considering and looking at. But I would agree with you. It's probably more interesting when the market is actually selling off, like a confirmed kind of down move into bearish sentiment peaking. I'm going to start writing puts and buying stuff I like. But right now, I can't really justify doing that. And I just think that there's too many things. Market expectations are very high. You had hot inflation on the market, ripped last week. It's not making sense to me. So I'm just going to wait. Like, there's nothing wrong with just saying, I can't. I'm not a buyer here, and that's not going to fit in with my plan here. I'm going to wait for the right setup. If you'd like to see more of our free daily chart of the days, make sure to join our Telegram channel if you have not already joined. And if you are already in the Telegram channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up button to support our work. Also, quick reminder that if you're looking for free tools and free education in the trading space, head over to a1trading.com. You can check out our free technical, fundamental courses and much more.